You're listening to the Gab Street Podcast, Columbus, Ohio's #1 podcast for underground talent. Every week we have new conversations with interesting individuals who contribute to the Columbus economy and its lively culture. You may find just what you're looking for right in your backyard. Let's get right into it. Hey everybody, welcome back to What You Know, the Wednesday morning edition of the Gab Street Podcast. Obviously, the #1 podcast in Columbus for underground talent. Today is episode 64. That number will become significant here shortly. We have a co-host with us who is also kind of a guest co-host hybrid, but he's helping me out here. He's part of the team. His name is Michael Cory. Say hello.
Hello.
Thank you for coming on this week, Michael, and helping me interview these boys and interviewing you as well. Much appreciated. And we have a returning set of guests, actually. You may have heard them on episode 31. They have since changed name, and they've changed mission. We're here to get a solid update from them. Say hello, Josh and Zach.
Hey.
What's going on? Glad to be back.
They were known back then as Valkyrian Steel. They have since rebranded to Valkyrian Steel. May I ask what the process for that update was?
It's kind of a long story.
Yeah? Let's hear it.
Well, Valkyrian Steel, before Zach and I really started to make plans for what we were doing, we used that name from one of our favorite shows, Game of Thrones, and since growing into more of a business rather than just the two of us hanging out, obviously we had to switch into something that wasn't already
trademarked. Yeah.
So basically, like Josh said, we're big fans of the Game of Thrones show, and Valkyrian Steel kind of just stuck out to us because it was the best steel you could possibly use, and we believe we're the best throwers out there, so it only makes sense. But we even talked about changing the name a little earlier before we did. I think it was around our first tournament we actually went to, because we had the thought of maybe the copyright situation might come up. And as of late, HBO did actually, reach out to us.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I think Mike can describe that situation a little bit better than I can.
Yeah, Valkyrian Steel was out in the world, kicking ass as a duels axe throwing team. And, when I entered the picture along with some of our other crew here in Columbus, we talked about what comes next. And we always kind of had this idea, right, that Valkyrian Steel isn't trademarked, but the created language by George R.R. Martin is copyrighted. And so when we went from just Josh and Zach being a duels team to being the axe throwing club, and we went public with our domain name and all of our social media, it took about 2 days, and I got a call from Warner Brothers and HBO just asking, hey, what's going on, what is this, and what are your intentions with it? We're gonna have to discuss this. HBO doesn't want you to move forward with this. And we explored some avenues, but ultimately decided that where our long-term goal and vision rested was more in line with Valkyrian Steel and our ability to be able to shape that how we envision it and not be tied to someone else's vision. So it was kind of a blessing in disguise. But yeah, I mean, Josh and I think the whole crew kind of nerded out. Getting a call from HBO, even under those circumstances, is still pretty rad.
Yeah, I was going to say I would be flattered.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, they were super nice and understanding of what we were trying to do, but HBO was very protective of that baby. But it allowed us to think about things in a new way and push us to grow.
That's awesome. Yeah. Where did the where exactly did Valkyrian Steel, the alternative, come from then?
It was just something I kind of had in my back pocket for a long time.
Yeah.
Um,
I think it
you know,
works.
it sounds very similar. It's just one letter different.
Yeah.
You know,
Because it's
plus,
still recognizable as you guys.
yeah, and there's some great lore behind Valkyries and things like that as well.
Do you guys plan on rebranding around that lore at all?
Not really rebranding, but just expanding on it.
Okay.
Like we still pull from all different sources that inspire us, and this is just another one that we found to be inspiring, and we'll grow on that as well.
Sweet. Let's do a quick little timeline here from the last episode all the way up to now. How soon after the last episode, which was recorded September 9th, I believe, did the team end up expanding?
Well, that's a good question.
Oh boy. So I think that was right around the Gotwood tournament, correct, Josh? Or was it before?
At the U.S. Open, you and I discussed Valkyrian Steel being a like multi-regional team.
Like a club.
Yeah, like more than just us two. So that's when the idea first came up, I think, was at the U.S. Open, and that was I don't remember the date for that exactly, but
so what exactly does that mean to be under the club? What kind of benefits do you get from that affiliation?
Well, I mean, essentially, it's a community within a community.
Okay.
The axe throwing community is very broad and diverse, and this is something we're trying to do that is different, and we're trying to bring our own little community into this and bring something new and exciting to the sport of axe throwing, and give everyone a home, like a place to feel like they belong in the whole axe throwing community, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
It's just a team. I guess you could think about it like that. It makes it sound a little bit easier.
I can see. Yeah.
It's a team, but it's also supposed to provide the sense of being an elite axe thrower as well. Because some of the members we have in the club today are top 5, top 10 in the world. So to be in that group is pretty prestigious, and that's kind of like what we want to make it. Not anyone can be on the team necessarily, or an athlete. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll get into this a little bit more later, but if the analogy is, if the World Axe Throwing League is the NBA, Valkyrian Steel Axe Throwing Club is the dream team.
There you go.
We're finding athletes and ambassadors for the community all over the world who want to get support and coaching and be held accountable for their own improvement, as well as just a place to come and take it a little bit more seriously, but still in a community that understands that this is fun and we do it because we're passionate about it. So it's our axe throwing dream team.
How many people are you guys looking to expand to? If there's even a limit to the number of people you want on your team, like how many people are you looking to expand to?
Well, like Mike said, we'll probably get into it more later, but like we have like a tiered system.
Okay.
And so there's 3 different tier levels here that we had envisioned, and like as like the athlete, as for like the dream team of the NBA, like he was saying for Waddle, there wasn't really like a number cap, but we were kind of like envisioning around 7 to 10 people for athletes at least.
Okay.
And below that, ambassadors and club members is, I don't think there's a threshold for that.
let's go into that a little bit. I'm interested to hear what the details of those other tiers are.
Sure thing. So basically, there's the club. So the tier system is kind of based off of the fact that we want everybody to be able to join, and that was the number one thing going into this whole team thing. Like, we want everybody to be able to have their stake in Valkyrian Steel. So there's tier levels based on either your skill level, how you performed in tournaments, what you bring to the community, how you are, like, how you interact with the community, things like that. And based on that, you have an application process that you go through to be on Valkyrian Steel. And you submit that to us, our team, we review it, and then we'll discuss where we think you fit best amongst the 3 tiers. And the 3 tiers are club member, and then an ambassador, and then above that, actual Valkyrian Steel athletes.
Okay, I see. So what's the difference between a regular club member and an ambassador?
So ambassador and club members, there's difference in discount codes. So you get access to our shop and our website and things like that. You get a higher discount percentage, and as well as club members, anybody can be a club member. So, like, if you apply and you don't fit within the athlete or the ambassador model, you will be a club member regardless. So anybody can be a club member and be a part of the Valkyrian Steel Axe Throwing Club.
Very cool.
I mean, the club is really the first step. I think when we start talking about the growth of the team beyond Zach and Josh, it's when it starts unlocking these other things. But you come and you want to rock Valkyrian Steel merch, and you just want to show us some support and get some some recognition back. That's a club member. If you're ready as an athlete to start to take your game to the next level, but you're not a major tournament winner yet, you can be a community ambassador, an athlete, or Valkyrian Steel ambassador for us for sure. That's the first official recognized tier on our website that starts to get public support and promotion from us.
Okay, that's cool. And how long did it take to, throw all this together with the website and tier system and everything? Because it's all very professionally put together.
Well, thank you. We've been working very hard for, I'd say, past 2 or 3 months on this.
Yeah.
We have, 5 founders, and each of our founders has different jurisdictions of how we operate and what we do, and we've directed each of us to have responsibilities and roles on the team, and that kind of has helped us navigate our way through not having an example from this because it's never been done, but also like keeping us on track and keeping each other, we hold each other responsible for and accountable for what our own directives are.
And what is so including Dan and Jess, what are everybody's specific roles right now in the founder team?
Well, Mike is our president.
Okay.
Mike is the overseer of most operations regarding the website and planning. He is fantastic when it comes to workload. He is the most organized person I think I've ever met in my entire life.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's crazy. Josh and Zach are our premier athletes. They're the ones who started this dream and continue to light the spark for new ideas and pushing us forward as a club of axe throwers with that primarily focused. Zach is our biggest community ambassador, really takes that role seriously, puts all the pieces together. But the 5 of us as a collective, we make decisions together. We come up with creative ideas and visions together. I'm behind the scenes, maybe making the machinery run is how I like to say that, but we are all responsible for all aspects of the club.
Okay.
Jess is an amazing artist and designer, and so we get a lot of creative spark from her, and she drives that forward. Dan is just an amazing personality, genuine and nice and authentic, and he's a great ambassador for what our ethos and pillars are.
Gotta
And the same
love
can be
Dan.
said about Zach and Josh. And Zach and Josh really are the premier athletes. They're the ones that get us the recognition from the community as the elite club that we are and are going to continue to be. And then, my role is to try to just piece all of that together to keep us continually moving forward and not be paralyzed, not to let great be the enemy of good, and, continue to move forward.
So being established as the premier athletes, Zach and Josh, let's go over, since the last episode, some victories that you guys have won, because I know there have been quite a few.
Sure.
So what tournaments have you guys participated in since then?
So I think since the last time we spoke, I think it was the Angry Wood competition where we ended up taking first in the duels competition.
Nice.
Yeah, we won the duels championship over there, and that was in Tulsa.
Down in Oklahoma. Yep. Coming back, we had a bunch of monthly tournaments around the area where me and Josh would go back and forth. He would win, I'd win. So we had like 3 months straight or 4 months straight of that, and then we were off to Arizona for the
World Championships. Yeah, that's
the
right.
World Championship.
How'd you guys end up doing in that one?
I think
not too bad.
we were in the duels competition. I think we were a game away from the finals.
Nice. I think we took fourth.
Not bad at all.
We just missed it there, but individually, that was the hardest axe throwing tournament I've ever been a part of.
Yeah, everyone there was, if not, just as good, if not better than you. So you had to go through that. Personally, I was in the top 12. Josh, I believe he was not too far behind.
Okay. I mean, considering that that's the World League, that's incredible, first of all. So I think despite not getting the top spot, you guys should be very proud of yourselves for that.
For sure, yeah. Considering it was, we weren't even a year into axe throwing either.
Yeah.
And for us to go that far, we were pretty happy with our performance.
And young, the World Championship is where I entered the picture. I had met Zach and Josh a little bit before in practice leading up to Worlds, and I was there trying to qualify through a wild card. And, watching Josh and Zach compete at that level was inspiring. And, that's when I really realized that the community was so important to Zach and Josh. Zach really took me, even though I'm quite a bit older than these guys, but really took me under his wing there, and made sure that I met people and that I kind of immersed myself. And it wasn't just me; there was everyone that that was as important to Zach and Josh as the competition was. And then they get there and they kick ass the way that they did. It was awesome to watch, but it was also inspiring to see the strength of the community continuing to grow and how important that is to Zach and Josh.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would agree that community is very important to all of you guys. It's very evident in that. And it's important for anybody to have a person filling that role of introducing you to people and showing you around. So I'm happy to hear that is happening with you guys. That's usually the first step.
I mean, we all, like the five of us, the five founders here, we all met. I mean, other than Zach and I, since we grew up together, but everyone else, we all met through axe throwing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now we speak every single day,
And now we run a business together, which is crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of that, what are your goals for 2020 then?
Well, I mean, with the current
Yeah, I kind of got put in a lull there.
Well, yeah.
Current situation is, is kind of putting us behind. But I think right now we're trying to, go in reverse with starting up our online shop.
Okay.
We want to get a big major tournament in the Midwest, like here in Columbus. Hopefully
Yeah,
this year, in the fall.
that's
That's what
Mike's
we're
baby.
shooting for. Yeah, that's Mike. Mike has got great plans for that. And then from there, I think we want to catapult into an actual throwing venue.
Okay.
But
And
I
would it be
can.
more dedicated toward competitive tournament play then?
Mhm.
I think Mike can describe that a little bit better than I can.
Yeah, with with the quarantine going on, we were talking every day, and we kind of got all of our dreams, like many people, put a bucket of ice water put on that. But
Yeah.
I'm not one to sit still or idle, and luckily the five of us aren't either. And so we're like, what can we do right now that starts to add kindling to this spark that we've created?
Hmm.
That's where we design all of our stuff in house, among the five of us. Like I said, Jess is a great artist, and so we are taking the things that we want to wear and that we want to put out in the community, and we started there as a foundation for us to create an online presence to begin to, basically, to put it in an axe analogy, we had the steel, this website, and our merch shop begins to forge that. And through 2020, we're going to start to sharpen that axe, with our first major tournament. We're calling it right now the Midwest Melee. That right now is the current long-term vision. That's the big prize, in the middle of this big dream, is establishing that event here that highlights what we're doing as Valkyrian Steel Axe Throwing Club, what Columbus is offering to the axe throwing community. The state of Ohio has so many amazing throwers and, community members that the Midwest Melee is going to be a tournament to bring people together to not only compete at an elite level, but to also highlight what's great about Ohio and the Midwest, at large. And then the long term goal is to create a venue that caters to, the professional elite axe throwers in a way that begins to grow our membership model and provides a venue where we can, have a space that is going to always be kept up and managed in a way by professional act throwers for professional act throwers, but at the same time is still open and welcoming to the community that's continuing to grow. Whether you just want to have fun, but you want to have fun and join, the World Axe Throwing League and be a part of a super polished venue and league community.
Okay. And talking about a tiered membership system with a venue makes me think of a gym, which makes me think of a question that I also want to ask you guys. During quarantine, do you guys have any tips for maintaining axe throwing ability even without a target?
Yeah, so if you go on Amazon and you you check out the product called Zax, it's the suction cup, axes that you can throw on any surface and they
Oh,
stick.
really?
Yeah, Josh just got his set up yesterday. I have I have mine in my apartment right now, and just throughout the day, I'm just throwing at the wall, in the fridge, and shit like that.
That's awesome.
I'm lucky enough to have a backyard, and I've built a target in the backyard, and I can run out on my lunch break, in between meetings for my full-time day job, and I can throw 10. That's my goal, is to run out and throw 10, throw a full game, and keep my scores and continue to practice. And I think Zach and Josh can tell you a little bit too about the Quarantine Axe Throwing League that's been pushing all of us to stay, loose and to stay competitive.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask about next. Could you call it coddle? Is that a proper, or quaddle?
Quaddle. Yeah, quaddle is what.
I've never heard it said out loud. I say quaddle.
Just called the QATL.
There you go, Joe.
I'd like to hear a little bit more about that, because I saw it around, but I haven't gone into detail about what exactly it was. I mean, I can get a basic idea, but you know.
Yeah, so it basically started these two axe throwers up in Canada uh, on the Facebook page that we have for axe throwing. They came up with this idea of if you have a home target, let's play matches, just via FaceTime, and it started blowing up super quickly. And all of a sudden now we have 300 plus throwers all in a league, throwing
Wow.
via like FaceTime, Zoom, Instagram Live is huge, Facebook Live, and we have a whole league dedicated to it.
Yeah, so it's basically just like the normal standard waddle leagues.
Yeah.
Except now everything's just FaceTime, and you connect, you download your matches, or you can upload your matches and see what they are. You'll basically give that person a FaceTime call or Instagram Live call, and then you just throw. And it's, you hold yourself accountable, and you trust that your opponent does as well. So like if you don't hit a bullseye, you don't want to give yourself a bullseye.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so it's all honor system. It's got a lot of integrity and built with it, but it's a great way to stay competing throughout this quarantine league and stay separated.
Yeah, the first thing I thought of when I saw that it was happening was worrying about people doctoring their footage or anything like that. Just making sure they're standing in the exact same spot so they can just loop a bullseye being thrown or something like that. Like, oh, I'll just walk off camera real quick. You won't see any frame resets. Don't worry about it. But I imagine that hasn't been happening, I guess.
Well, like, I mean, if it has been happening and people have been doing that, then I mean, like, good on them for cheating. Hey, we're all just having fun here. It's literally just for fun, just to stay warm for the real seasons and things like that. So if you want to cheat, go ahead. But like, we're just having fun here.
And the community is small enough that if someone were cheating, let's say I get caught calling 7 bulls that weren't bulls. My name, you know my social. We're going to be put on blast. And also, even if we're not put on blast, I might get a text from Josh going, "Hey man, that wasn't a bull. Be careful calling that. You look like an asshole." And the community, we hold ourselves accountable, even those who we don't know that well. I threw against a lady in Ireland yesterday, and where the hell else am I going to be able to do that?
Right.
I think Josh is someone in New Zealand. So you don't want to cheat because we're making new lifelong friends. And, as we're starting this club, we want to, integrity is important to us all.
That's super cool. I didn't even think about people doing it from other countries across the world and such.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And it's kind of scary to see how many good throwers are actually out there. I think it's going to be great for the league. Once everything gets back up and running, the competition is just going to get that much harder. And I think that's huge for the sport itself.
That's the crazy thing about this quarantine for everybody, is that I don't know about a lot of other people, but I've personally been actually connecting with the people I care about most more often than I used to. I started, shameless self plug here, but I started doing almost nightly streams of video games of my own, just to have my best friends hang out in a voice call with me during it. And we never did anything like that before, and I used to only see them like every 2 or 3 weeks or so. And
yeah, huge.
it's just been way easier to connect with a lot of people. So I'm glad that it's having similar results with other people, and I think everybody's going to learn a lot from this.
Yeah, this is definitely going to change the way our country operates. I completely agree.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people are going to continue to work from home as well. Because
be successful.
Yeah, people are seeing the use of that. I mean, there are a lot of jobs that can be done from home, and a lot of workplaces are adapting to, higher technological standards.
I can imagine a lot of people, when it comes time to maybe go back, that maybe they started a venture where they don't have to go to work anymore. They can continue to work from home.
Yeah,
I know. In my business of real estate, virtual real estate has been a big thing in the past couple years, and this is just giving it an opportunity to grow tremendously. And it's something that I've incorporated in my business, and it's, it seemed to work. So I can just see a lot of people in my field continuing to stay home, which is crazy.
Unfortunately, I can't teach people how to throw axes from home, but
Yeah.
maybe we'll figure that out at some point.
We have plans.
Yeah.
It's doable, I mean, you can do anything from home if you think about it. With the means that we have nowadays, it's definitely, I think anything's possible.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I think we'll continue to discover that over the next however long, even outside of quarantine. But I have a couple of questions for you guys that are a little bit more on point with what the show's about. First of which is, how has Columbus specifically helped you guys grow as a team?
Well, I guess number one thing is that we all met here.
Yeah.
And, that was Columbus's doing in itself.
Yeah, I think we've made a lot of relationships here in Columbus. I think meeting up with you, Cory, that's been great. That's been a positive.
I'm glad to hear that. Same with you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I moved to Columbus 2 years ago from Washington, D.C. I spent a decade there. The southern in my voice is from Kentucky a long time ago, but I spent a decade in D.C. right before Columbus. Two completely different cities. I have made relationships here faster and stronger, and that will last longer, just because the city kind of it cultivates creativity and connection in a way that's like authentic and real. There are a lot of great venues, and we met and throwing at a Thursday night throwdown at Dueling Axes, and because the city has great places like that bring in good people, we can start to build those relationships that turn into friendships and club partnerships and business relationships. And Columbus doesn't get enough credit for that. I've lived in 12 cities, 6 states, and a couple of countries, and Columbus has been one of the most creative places I've been that really cultivates this kind of energy.
That's what this show is all about, folks. It's true. I think I actually was the one who checked you in for that Thursday night throwdown, believe it or not. I think that's great.
That's awesome.
But I do heavily agree with you on Columbus being a place that really brings people together like that. It is a unique place. I mean, obviously, I've done 64 episodes about that topic now, but I'm glad it's worked for so many different communities, and that I've had the opportunity to talk to people from so many diverse backgrounds, because so far your team is the only axe throwing. Well, I interviewed some of the owners of Dueling Axes as well, but outside of that, I think you're the only athletic related guests we've had on. But this city has a very diverse crowd of creatives and from a lot of different backgrounds. I've really enjoyed that so far.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
Columbus has like such a hustle to it. Like everyone here is, ready to, chase their dreams on like what they actually want to do. And that's, I think, the 5 of us, I think we share that passion on like we're a bunch of doers, and we just like to get stuff done. And I see a lot of that in Columbus.
I agree with that very much. Question a little bit veering off of that path. I'm curious because I haven't seen the whole team together very much outside of actually throwing at a tournament. But how is the team dynamic, and how do y'all work off of each other?
Yeah, I think Josh has some awesome thoughts here, but I do just want to say, I am a 36-year-old white dude with a beard. I look like an axe thrower based on all the stereotypes that you've got. But our club is super diverse and different. Dan Ceballos from Texas, Jessica Renner here, amazing female artist, and axe thrower, and then Zach and Josh, being kind of from Ohio natives, but then branched off into what they do. The five of us, and that extreme difference of who we are, kind of from our backgrounds, bringing together, we bring so many different perspectives, but what the glue is that we all respect each other's perspective. And so we can joke around and we can roast each other at the same time as like seriously and authentically pushing each other and prodding on questions and motivations behind those creative ideas. And so, but I think the glue is just respect from those different perspectives.
No, we definitely have a dynamic that is founded on many different platforms, and respect is definitely one of them. It's interesting and it's fun and it's heartwarming to know that we have this group with us, that we can both, like Mike said, we could roast each other, but then at the end of the day, you know that we have each other's backs at the same time.
Absolutely. I'm roasting these guys 24/7. You better believe it. As much as I can. But yeah, I mean, just, what Josh and Mike said, we keep saying that it's super funny that, how well the five of us work, to start a team or something like that. You have to go out and find people to work with. It just came naturally.
It's weird to think like the dynamic that we all bring to, like Mike was saying, the diversity that we have. Like, we have a doctor, a veteran, a real estate guy, a couple of artists, and then somebody who Mike is like works for Truth, is like one of a huge company. Like, it's so cool to see what everybody brings and different life experiences that come together to make what we have. And I think that is part of what makes this Valkyrian Steel so great and different.
So through that group dynamic and how well you guys work together, what are some of the biggest challenges you guys have faced or are still facing and have overcome?
I mean, I think for me, the special sauce of all of those different backgrounds and the age range that we're talking about on the team as well is pretty wide. Our perspectives is the glue and kind of, fuel for that fire that moves us forward. It's also a challenge. Anytime where we say, we want our decisions and we want our future to be molded by the five of us equally. The Knights of the Round Table was a great story, but it's difficult in a world where a lot of this is happening over text message and Zoom calls, and you can't, really be there to feel the tone of the room. And so, doing this electronically with five different perspectives it's an awesome motivator and it's holding us together. But for me, it's also been that is a challenge. And I think what Josh and Zach said about just respecting each other, we know that everything that we say and are doing is for the greater good of our club and the community at large. But be lying to say that what is also our special sauce is sometimes also a challenge.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
And there's a valuable trade-off with overcoming that challenge. Obviously, 5 heads are better than 1, I would think. And actually perfecting that dynamic and making sure that everyone is heard and respected leads to the best decisions and ultimately the best results. So I think it is the best route to go with. Josh, would you say you've had the same experience?
Yeah, definitely. I don't know, I kind of gave my 2 cents on it already, but I just think that respect goes a long way, and it's kind of what makes the wheels turn.
Yeah. Any other challenges that you can think of that you've faced?
Before, I guess we could go get into this one. So there's I did my fair share of art growing up, and Mike is an artist and Jess is an artist. when we were trying to come up with designs initially, it was like we were all butting heads so hard because we all had our own artistic vision to it,
Yeah.
and we just couldn't land on anything. And ultimately, like, just a decision was made, and we all just had to suck it up. But now, like, that is happening regularly, and it works.
How so?
Because we're not asking each other for permission anymore. Whereas we were before, we would want. We say you would present something, and you have 5 people. Not everybody is going to agree on that every time, and almost never does that happen. So you just kind of have to, like, take a leap, say, hey, this is going up. We're gonna make this product. Okay, we're gonna make that product. We're gonna see how it goes. If it doesn't work, we'll pull it. Just like that, everybody has their own say. And when it comes to, like, designs and things like that, I'm saying,
I also think, we all have a better understanding of what our end goal is and what we want it to be. So when we're bringing ideas to the table, like Josh said, they're getting approved more by everyone because, we all have the same vision. So, I have a great idea. Mike has a good idea, Josh, Jess, Dan, and we're just running with it.
Yeah, that's a great point, Zach. I think part of the goal for me in jumping our website and web presence up and making this exist beyond a closed group of conversation over chili and bourbon at my house was understanding that there are going to be stumbles out of the gate. We're going to fall, we're going to trip up, and we're going to leave with some scabs, but we're going to be moving forward. And that propulsion forward and us continuing to understand that, all right, the horse is out of the gate, we are moving, right? It now is no longer let's the 5 of us come up with a singular consensus. Let's the 5 of us continue to add more ideas to that forward momentum. And as that is continuing to go day by day and week by week, it's starting to shape up in something that, as Zach was putting it, a more singular vision that is this awesome marriage of the 5 of us, 5 of our ideas combined. But to Zach's point, I think with us moving forward, that vision is starting to become more clear, and there's a lot more trust that comes to that. One of the big challenges that outside of Josh and Zach, we don't know each other for that long, and as we continue to build that relationships of just length of time and the singular vision shaping up more clearly, it's just been a blessing and super helpful.
All right. Yeah, I definitely believe in your guys' success, for sure. I think I can already, knowing Josh and Zach as well as I do, I know that those processes and negotiations already are very effective and efficient. So I think that's awesome that you guys have put something together like that.
Thank you.
Of course. Do you guys have anything else specific that you would like to go over today?
I just want to make sure that we add some last names to the other core members here. We've said Jess and Dan, but Jess, Jessica Renner, and Dan Ceballos are the other 2 founders of this dream that we're trying to do here. And you asked about Columbus. We can't do this without partners and our local community. People like yourself and Ben and Cory from Yellowwood Design Studios have been amazing partners in helping us kind of shape up ideas and just elevate our game to a whole nother level. And there are countless people to name, but I just want to make sure to give those people a shout out as they, to our other 2 founders who just are amazing at helping shape this up. And then, Yellowwood Design Studios doing a lot of really great stuff here in Columbus.
Yeah, we've had help from countless different sources as well, and as much as we are rooted in Columbus, like, this team is not rooted in Columbus. You know what I mean? Like, that's not the goal. Like, we're trying to be worldwide and nationwide and things like that. And, we've already, So is it much help as we have gotten from, Yellowwood Design, like the incredible amount of help we've received, help from other like venues, like they've given us guidance, such as like Rob Miller from Flippin' X. I spoke with him for like 2 hours on the phone one day, and he just basically gave me a rundown on his experience coming into this whole axe throwing thing and how everything worked out for him, and gave me advice and things like that. And that was incredible to have somebody who's a veteran in the game, who owns 3-4 different venues, just tell me how it is, rather than like try to beat around the bush and things like that. So like we wouldn't be here without the people who we surround ourselves with like that as well.
That's impressive.
Yeah, and I think, also just the axe community in general. A huge thanks to everyone who like went out and supported us the first day we launched. Has been, Josh and I's biggest fan ever since we started doing duels, or, came into the community. I've always said that from the beginning. The community is the best part of axe throwing, and we just want to highlight that.
And we're continuing to look. We're looking to expand, not only like as a club, but our ambassadors, our athletes. Like we have 4 athletes on the team right now, including one from Toronto and one from Cleveland, Tyler Flynn and Rander Marquez. We want to open this up to everybody. We want everybody to reach out to us if you feel like you want to be involved and take part in this, because that's what we want. We want to be a nationally known team.
Yeah, where can people find your team and support you?
I didn't hear what you said there, Cory.
Where's the best place people can find and support the team?
We're on Facebook, Valkyrian Steel ATC. We're on Instagram at Valkyrian Steel ATC, and then there's also our website where you can apply directly at ValkyrianSteelATC.com.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, viewers, if you think you're up to the task, I urge you to go on and send in your application. I would love to hear some Gab Street fans getting some dubs out there. I think that'd be cool. But thank you so much for coming on this week, you guys. I appreciate the updates. I'm excited to see what you guys have in store.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, of course. I'm glad you came back for episode 64, the perfect score in a league. So
it only makes sense.
It only makes sense. But as always, we will catch everybody next Wednesday morning at 6 a.m., just like every week. If you're not on that mailing list, hop on that mailing list so you'll know who's going in the next 2 episodes. So you're in the know. You're a true pedestrian. Thank you for listening.